afternoon. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm Tracy Thomas, the director here at the library, and on behalf of the library board and staff, I want to just tell you thank you so much for being here. This is a really special day for us. We're not here only to unveil a marble bench, but we're here to honor the life and the legacy of a man who gave so very much of himself to our community, Dr. Robert Bob Gray. Dr. Gray was more than just a beloved pediatrician in our community. He was a listener, he was a healer, a friend, and for many, many families, he was a reassuring presence during some of life's most tender moments. His kindness, compassion, and genuine love for people touched countless lives in Sylacauga and far beyond. I want to tell you just a little story about this marble bench that's out front. The story began a few years ago when the library was gifted several beautiful marble slabs from Sylacauga Marble, and I wanted to tell you where they came from. They came from the historic marble castle that many of you will remember from being in Sylacauga. Someone passed away and said, we have them in the backyard and we'd love it if the library would like to come get those. So we went and got them, and we saved those for some special occasion, but we didn't know yet what that occasion would be. We thought the pieces would be a perfect bench, something that would be both useful and symbolic. As our community was grieving the loss of Dr. Gray, his business partner, Dr. Rika, was searching for a way to honor his memory. She mentioned her thoughts to our library council liaison, Tiffany Nix, and also to Amy Price, who is our library board chair and also of Coosa Valley Medical Center. And from there, the idea began to take shape, and this collaboration became a beautiful example of how our community can come together. It spans the library, the city, our healthcare colleagues, and friends that all came together to honor one of our local hometown heroes. We felt that a bench, a place where people could sit for reflection, conversation, or just simply a quiet moment would be the perfect tribute. We're especially grateful to Dr. Rika for her generosity in sponsoring the beautiful plaque that you'll see in a few minutes that bears Dr. Gray's image. The plaque ensures that every person who visits the bench will know the story of the man that it honors, and they'll be reminded of the care and the compassion that he so freely gave to so many others. We turn to our hometown sculptor, Frank Murphy, whose skill and artistry with marble are known Sylacauga and far beyond. Frank took these historic slabs of marble and he created something both beautiful and enduring. And we thank him not only for this work, but for the selfless way he continues to honor his hometown by sharing his incredible talent with us. Frank Murphy drove in from Georgia today to be with us, and he's in the back, and I told him he was going to have to stand up. And I will say, I don't know how you make a living, Frank Murphy, because you would not charge for what you did. So thank you very, very much for what you've done. Today we're honored to have members of Dr. Gray's family with us, and we would invite you all to stand and be recognized so that others will know who all is here representing Dr. Gray's family. Thank you so much for being here, and also thank you for sharing him with us for so many, many years. I also would like to ask for any current or past office or hospital staff that work with Dr. Gray and any of the physicians. If you would you stand and be recognized? Thank you. I know you have lots of wonderful memories of working with Dr. Gray. So today we're going to dedicate this bench of marble. It's strong and it's enduring, and we also dedicate our hearts to remembering Dr. Bob Gray. May this bench be a place to sit and rest our body, a quiet space to rest our mind, and a gentle reminder of the healing spirit that he so freely gave to so many. It's now my pleasure to invite Amy Price, who is the chairman of our library board of directors, and she's also the CNO at Coosa Valley Medical Center, to share some remarks.
Thank you, Tracy. I can't help but think what trouble we would be in today with Dr. Gray if he were here among us. Can't y'all hear it now? Tanya, we'd have to get out the cuss jar, I'm afraid. We'd be in trouble. So what a great honor to be here this afternoon. And On behalf of Coosa Valley Medical Center and the Library Board, we welcome you this afternoon and are so grateful that you could be with us as we celebrate his memory. Dr. Gray is a legend here in Sylacauga. He touched too many lives to count and made such a meaningful impact on the children of this community and beyond. Dr. Gray didn't just care for children, he cared for families. Dale and I are so grateful for the care and compassion he showed us when our oldest daughter was born. As young parents, he supported us during some very difficult days. As we gather here this afternoon, we're so grateful to Dr. Rita for seeing to it that he is remembered and that his lifelong work is honored here on the grounds of the B.B. Comer Memorial Library with the dedication of our marble bench. Dr. Gray's name is still alive and well in the halls of CDMC and this community that he loved so much. I can think of no more fitting tribute for a man who loved children unconditionally than to have this monument to his life in a place that will impact children's lives through books for generations to come. If you will join me now, we will now have a brief video of Dr. Gray reciting one of his favorite poems. You all should have a copy of the poem in your seat, so if you'll follow along as we watch the video together. After the video, we've asked two of Dr. Gray's dearest friends to come forward and share a poem with us. While they're making their way to the podium, please enjoy the video.
Tell me where to start.
Start.
I'll arise and go down, and go to Innisfree. A small cabin built there, with clay and wattles made. 9 bee rolls I will have there, a hive with honeybee, and live alone in the bee-loud glade. Okay so far?
Perfect.
And I will find half peace there, for those peace goes dropping slow, dropping through the veil of the morning to where
the crickets
feel out dreams. There, moonlight's all a glimmer, and noon's a perfect glow, and the evening's full of the linnet's wings. So far, how am I doing?
perfect.
I will rise and go now. It was always night and day. I hear a water lapping, low sounds by the shore. They're standing on the roadside, the open pavement's gray. I hear it in the deep heart's core.
Perfect.
That's the end, isn't
It
it?
is the end.
B plus, A minus.
I'm giving you a solid A.
Now we'll turn it over to Miss Lauren Esses and Dr. Martha Strange.
Good afternoon, friends of Dr. Bob Gray. We are gathered to reflect and remember an extraordinary man, a rare and remarkable man, a talented physician who treated generations of families for over 6 decades. He was a gifted product of Sylacauga and Alabama. A special man whose personality was characterized by graciousness, inquisitiveness, kindness, caring, and generosity. He was my best friend for over 27 years. Bob embodied grace. He made one feel valued and appreciated. He was a terrific listener. He spoke softly. He was always considerate, sensitive, and understanding. Bob was a kind and gentle man. Kindness was the essence of his character, always encouraging, offering comforting embrace, and a warm and genuine smile. Compassion and caring were at the corner of his identity, his persona. It is why he answered a worried mother's telephone call in the middle of the night. He was steadfast, willing to lend a helping hand, a reassuring word, or an attentive ear. Caring and mutual respect for one another is what made our friendship one of love and trust. We shared many of life's moments, our moments, laughing at life, reading poetry, painting, tying fishing flies, gazing at the stars, walking along Cedar Creek, boating on Lake Howard, drinking a glass of wine and saying little, listening to classical music, and enjoying each other's company. Along the way, we laughed and we cried. We shared successes and failures. Bob Gray, I miss you. We all miss you.
My name is Martha Strange. I'm a retired neonatologist, which is a baby specialist, and as I look around the room, I took care of some of your babies in here. I live next to the Talladega National Forest in Winterboro, and you could ask why such a recent newcomer is talking about Bob, but actually I knew Bob for a very long time, starting in 1978, so that's longer than some of you have been born. And I was a pediatric resident at UAB, and we knew and respected Dr. Gray as an excellent doctor. He would stabilize and transfer his sickest babies and children to Children's Medical Center in Birmingham at that time. His patients would arrive sick, but they would have been professionally stabilized prior to transfer. Subsequently, I became the medical director of Brookwood NICU in a neonatal intensive care unit in 1984, and I had an even closer relationship with Dr. Gray, as he stabilized and transferred to me his sick newborn babies, often premature. And I know I'm overstating this, and I was telling his staff earlier, but for the people that are non-medical in the room, to maintain the physician skills needed to care for the sickest patients is an art form that required Dr. Gray to remain diligent in continued learning, research, practice throughout all the years that he was a pediatrician serving his children and their families. Frankly, many physicians lose that skill over time, but Dr. Gray never. So when I retired and moved to the area, I guess it was just natural that our professional relationship became a personal friendship. I was then privileged to become acquainted with Bob Gray, the Renaissance man. Physician extraordinaire, we already said that, but also musician, painter, naturalist, connoisseur of literature and poetry. I'll leave the other arts to my other art friends to brag on, and his artwork here will speak to. But I want to briefly describe my connection with Bob through his love of nature and love of poetry. When he was more mobile, we would hike in my woods or sit by my stream and discuss philosophical issues of nature. In his later years, Lauren and I would go to his house for our monthly poetry reading session, and we have pizza and wine. Wine keeps coming out, but pizza and wine and read poetry. He challenged us with some of his favorite poets, often reciting from memory his favorite poem. And so you're lucky, because I was going to read it. I was so glad that Bob got to read it instead. I understand that you've been given that copy today, and that was great. Well, I almost forgot the other extraordinary part of Bob, and that's family man. He loved his children. I start crying here. He loved his children and his grandchildren, and encouraged friendships between his family and mine. Lauren and I would be included in family gatherings for Bob's birthday, poetry readings when his son Rob came home from Norway, walks in my woods with Jamie and Marty and the kids, special visits with his granddaughter Virginia as a child and young adult, and visits with David and Kathy. These friendships have continued after Bob's death and remain meaningful to me as friendships, but also a memory and a testament to my dear friendship with Bob. Dr. Gray was a professional beacon of light. Bob was as loyal to his friends and family as anyone, anywhere. All right, so I'll close with what else but a poem. This one is by my favorite poet, Mary Oliver. When death comes. When death comes like the hungry bear in autumn, When death comes and takes all the bright coins from his purse to buy me, and snaps the purse shut. When death comes like the measles pox. When death comes like an iceberg between the shoulder blades. I want to step through the door full of curiosity and wondering, what is it going to be like, that cottage of darkness? When it's over, I want to say, all of my life, I was a bride married to amazement. I was the bridegroom taking the world into my arms. When it's over, I don't want to wonder if I made of my life something particular and real. I don't want to find myself sighing and frightened or full of argument. I don't want to end up simply having visited this world. No one would say of Bob that he simply visited this world. Bob was full of wonder. Bob made his life something particular and real. As you said, Bob, I think of you often and miss you very much, as so many of us today in this room do. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren and Dr. Strange. Next, I want to introduce Dr. Rika. Dr. Rika really needs no introduction. I remember the first time I met Dr. Rika, Dr. Gray introduced me to her, and he was so proud of Dr. Rika and her commitment to our community. Dr. Rika is the owner of Sylacauga and Summit Pediatrics. The last 3 years in a row, she's been voted the best pediatrician of the Coosa Valley. Dr. Rika was recognized for her commitment to rural health care in 2021 by Children's of Alabama as a master pediatrician. Dr. Rika is also very involved in our community. She is currently serving her second term on the Board of Education and is currently serving as president of the Sylacauga City Schools Board of Education. Dr. Rika has 2 wonderful children of her own. Her oldest is a pediatrician, Dr. Harsha, and her youngest, Washi, is in medical school at UAB. And guys, I didn't know y'all were going to be here this afternoon, but thank you for joining us. I know your mother was proud to see you. Dr. Rika's children are graduates of Sylacauga High School, and both of them have many academic accolades of their own. So with no further ado, I'd like to thank Dr. Rika for making today possible and welcome her to the podium.
Thank you, Amy. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for being here today to honor Dr. Robert Gray. Before we get started, there are a few people that I would like to thank for helping make this possible. I would like to thank Tiffany Nix for connecting me with Tracy Thomas, and Tracy and entire staff of Baby Comer Library for setting up this beautiful ceremony and for coordinating the entire process of having a bench put in place so that Dr. Gray could be honored in the place that he loved so much. Amy Price and Coosa Valley Medical Center for being here and helping honor Dr. Gray's legacy and for providing with the wonderful refreshments that we have this afternoon. Everyone from this community of Sylacauga and his well-wishers, thank you all for being here today. I know this would mean a lot to him. Finally, I would like to thank Dr. Gray's family for being here. David, Kathy, Jamie, Marnie, Ann Warren, and Ann. Thank you. His family was the most important thing to him, and I'm so happy that we are able to celebrate his legacy together today. There are so many things to say about Dr. Gray, and thinking back on 25 plus years that I was blessed to know him. I have so many stories that I could share, but if I'm being totally honest, no amount of words can do him justice, but I'll try my best. I still remember the first day I met Dr. Gray. I walked into his office not knowing what to expect, and there he was, a tall man sitting behind the desk, leaning back in his chair, calm as he can be. Little did I know how much my life was about to change after this moment. He proceeded to drive me to Country Club where he was going to interview me for a job at Sylacauga Pediatrics. On the way to the Country Club, I noticed that every person who rode by was waving to him. After a few moments have passed, I began to realize the waves weren't going to stop anytime soon. And I was with a local celebrity. Dr. Gray's love for pediatrics, his patients, and their families was evident in everything that he did. I could see this from the very first day I began working with him. You could hear the joy and excitement in children's squeals when Dr. Gray entered the room. He was known for his signature airplanes that he made from 2 tongue depressors. But it wasn't just the children who loved Dr. Gray. Many of the grandmothers and some mothers had a crush on him. Although he had so many incomparable attributes, Dr. Gray's indulgence was also unquestionable. I often used to think of Dr. Gray as walking textbook of pediatrics. When I had a question, I could have just looked it up, but I always would go to him and ask him. He almost always had the right answer. I truly believe that I learned more about how to practice pediatrics from him than what I learned in my 8 years of training. He once told me that pediatrics was 60% compassion and 40% knowledge, and that is something I try to imbibe to this day. His work ethic was also impeccable and something every current and future physician can learn from and aspire to reach. He would show up to work early and he would be one of the last ones to leave, often seeing the patients up to 6 p.m. with the same energy and enthusiasm that he had at 7:38. There were so many evenings where he would finish up his work in the clinic and immediately go to the ER to see patients that came from near and far just to see him. He would never complain about this. Rather, he saw it as a privilege and duty that he had to this community. He never once bragged about his accomplishments. He was often the smartest person in the room, but he never acted like it. And his humility and love for others were amongst his best qualities. He cared for generations of families during his time at Sylacauga Pediatrics. But his time and commitment to Sylacauga extended beyond that. No matter how busy he was, he always made to counsel his fellow physicians, staff, his former patients and families. He took care of everyone as if they were his own family. And that is one of the many reasons he was so beloved. My relationship with Dr. Gray has been one of complete trust and respect from day one. If I had a problem, the first person I would turn to for advice or talk to would be him. I used to say he was my 911, and fittingly his home phone number ended in 9171. Even more than those phone calls and advice, Dr. Gray was family to me. He used to tell the nurses in L&D that he didn't have any daughters, but I was his girl. He made it a Christmas tradition where every year, without fail, he would buy me and my kids presents, along with his own kids and grandkids. And this quickly became my favorite part of Christmas morning. I, along with thousands of others in Sylacauga and beyond, will deeply miss Dr. Gray. His legacy lives on through his children and grandchildren who he loved dearly. It also lives through Sylacauga Pediatrics and thousands of patients he provided care for. As I reflect on all of the time I was fortunate enough to be able to spend with him, I am beyond grateful for this tremendous, large-hearted man. He welcomed me and my family to Sylacauga and has changed my life for better. I will miss his advice, mentorship, and friendship. He truly is one of a kind and leaves behind irreplicable legacy. Thank you.
and Dr. Gray's friends, thank you all for sharing your comments about him. And one of the ways that we wanted to allow everybody to share a memory of Dr. Gray, we have some sheets on the tables where if you'll pick one of those up, you can take it with you today if you want to put some time and some thought into what you'd like to share. But one of the things that we would like to do, just for a record here at the library and also to give to Dr. Gray's family, is for you to share your memories, and we will compile those digitally and we will have those available for people that would like a copy of that. So if you would like to take one, take a couple of weeks, take it home, fill it out, bring it back. You can turn that in here at the library. I know you could drop those off at the hospital, you could drop those off at Dr. Rika's office, wherever it's convenient for you, and they'll coordinate getting those back to us so that we can compile a lasting memory of community memories of Dr. Gray. I want to go ahead and say it is not raining outside at the present moment, so we are going to step outside to the marble bench and the unveiling of the plaque that Dr. Rika has so graciously provided. Steve Hartzell, Steve is the chaplain at Coosa Valley Medical Center, and he is going to say our blessing for us when we get out there to the bench. So if you want to gather around as closely as you can, and then we will ask Dr. Rika following the blessing to come up and she can do the unveiling. Again, we have a very wonderful reception across the hallway. When the unveiling is done, we'd like to invite you to come join us in that. And again, thank you to Coosa Valley Medical Center for helping with that. And one more thing before we go, Amy and I were standing in the back room talking, and today was a beautiful celebration about Dr. Gray. But as we look around the room at all the people that came together today because of him, there are so many people in this room that have touched countless lives through their medical service, and we just appreciate you all very much, and thank you all so much for being here today. If you would now, we'll go out this door and out the side doorway right there by the bench.
All right, let's pray together. Heavenly Father, we gather at this library today with grateful hearts, remembering the life of Dr. Bob Gray. He left behind a life well lived and a legacy that touched countless lives in this community and beyond. We thank you for the gift of this memorial bench, given in love and respect as a tribute from one physician to another, a colleague, a friend, a servant of others. Father, may this bench be more than marble. May it be a place of rest for the weary, reflection for the thoughtful, and comfort for those in need of a quiet moment. May it stand as a reminder of the compassion, dedication, and healing spirit that define the life we honor today. We dedicate this bench to your glory, asking that all who sit here will feel your peace and be reminded that service to others is the highest calling in life. In the name of the great physician, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Dr. Rika, okay, we'd like to let you do the unveiling of the, did you want to ask anyone to come with you? Okay.
I would like to ask Anne Warren, Dr. Gray's granddaughter, he loved his grandness. I will.